And I know there's software out there that has voice recognition stuff on it. And what I found is pretty pricey, but I'll bet you it's good. If anyone happens to know of either like a shareware link where I could download that software for free, and I mean free, like $10 is an issue, and $10 is an issue because I stopped my relationship with banks and I don't have a debit card anymore. It's been a great decision, just so you know. I feel free to do what you want, but I mean, that's like giving the keys of the house to the robber in my book at this point, keeping your money in a freaking bank. They don't have your money there, you know. They really don't. Like, if you have a lot of money in the bank, go try to withdraw it. It takes them a couple days to get it usually. So, it's just kind of numbers on a screen when you do that, and I hope the dollar keeps its value. It's doing a good job so far. But those numbers on a screen, boy, they could go away overnight, guys. So, think about that. But, anyway, if anybody knows how to, if anybody knows of a shareware link where I can download that for free, that'd be tremendously helpful. Or if you somehow know how to send me a file with that software attached, that would be fantastic. And I'm not going to ask how it happened, so that'd be great. If anybody, if you know, throw that out to the universe. If anybody can do that, boy, that would save me so much time. That would be freaking awesome. I could do a lot more, but boy, I can't afford that software. Doesn't that suck? Everybody's in that boat, though. It's kind of a sticky situation, and nobody wants to talk about it. That's what's even funnier. But you're not alone there, guys. Everybody's broke, so it's all good. And another thing I could still use a hand with is a website. If there are any web developers that happen to know how to do this and want to donate their time to it, I want to create a really cool online community where we can all go and talk to each other. I'd like for people to be able to upload videos there. I'd like for everybody to have their own little personal page. Sort of like a social networking for alien abductees type site with a little YouTube mixed in. But I'd like to have our own place where we can upload videos to, you know, just in case. You know, just YouTube embeds work too. It would be ideal to have our own though. But if anybody would donate their time to that and help me create something really cool, I could use a hand there. I've had a couple people offer to help me. And I've offered to help people too and didn't quite realize what I was taking on. And like as soon as I realized the enormity of the job, I kind of backed out of it quietly, and I think maybe that's what's happening. And that's totally fine. Not everybody's as gung-ho about this as I am. I don't feel bad about it at all. But boy, I appreciate anybody even writing, saying I might be able to help you out what you want to do. So just even that's, I think, cool. And if you happen to know a book publisher that might find this interesting, I'd like to write a book too. Just in case anybody is one or knows one, get a hold of me. AlienPhotog@gmail.com. So to that, please feel free to write me. Don't ever worry that I'm getting too much mail. It's so important to me to be there for people who have so many unanswered questions. Boy, that's a tremendously important thing for me to be a part of. So, and if I ever forget to write you back, please accept my apologies. And it doesn't happen often, but it's happened. And just please send me another email and just tell me I forgot about you, and don't feel bad about it, please, because I want to talk to everybody and help everybody find the answers they're looking for. And one-on-one really is the only way to do that a lot of times. Oh, one more thing, skeptics, I respect you. Hopefully you respect me too. And I made a video on why you should believe me. So I'm putting up a link to that right now because I do respect that doubt everybody has, especially on the subject, because there's a lot of lies going around. And I'm not one of the liars. And there's some very logical things that you can think about, I think, that sort of show that. So I made a video of that. So here's a link to that if you don't believe, if you want to know whether or not to believe me. And if you don't, that's fine. It used to upset me a little bit, but it doesn't bother me anymore. You can't make everybody happy. That's the truth. So that, and be nice to everybody. Well, don't, that, and, you know, try to do your small part to be nice to people around you. Think about what I said about that too. And that isn't my idea, so don't give me credit for any of that. That's stuff I got from them and supposed to pass on, so I did. But I think that's tremendously important. And that reminded me, I wanted to talk about Haiti a little bit. I'm bad about this. I'm almost done. Oh wait, one more thing. Sorry. I do have some thoughts on that though. Feel free to exit the conversation now if you're sick of hearing about people state the obvious about this disaster, but I think maybe I've got a little bit different take on it. I'm not sure because I haven't listened to other people's. I went to specifically foxnews.com before I made this to just sort of look at it. I don't think looking at the death and destruction should be avoided. It's real, guys. And in a way it can be beneficial if you know how to use it right, but we're also spoon-fed by the media, and there's so many lies involved, or it's just things are made out to be bigger than. It's just always the bad stuff. They scour the world for the worst thing that happens every day. It's disgusting, but this is a genuine tragedy, and none of these people deserve this. I don't think any of us who haven't been through something like that can actually imagine what it's like to just be in your home and then the earth begins shaking. I've never been through an earthquake, but I've read a lot about them. When I was a kid, I was real fascinated by them. And I saw on a map that portions of Port-au-Prince there experienced magnitude 10 level shaking. And from what I recall from my research as a child, and it's been a while, but somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but it can create at a magnitude 8 or 9 literal waves in the ground that can get like as high as 10, 15 feet high. Can you imagine? I mean, out of nowhere. This isn't really even an earthquake-prone area. It's got fault lines, but geez, everywhere it does, you know. And even if it was an earthquake-prone area, I'll bet you that catches you off guard, you know. Thank God that whatever forces had to be released there happened during the day. I can't imagine if at night people were caught in their beds by that. I can't imagine how many more people would have been killed. So that's a blessing for those people. Everything is just destroyed right now. The people that live there, everything is destroyed, and everybody's so scared, I imagine, to go back in any structures after all the people were crushed. Boy, that's not a pretty way to go, you know, if you want to look at it realistically. Which, why not do it for a second, you know? I'll play the media role for a second, but it's hard to imagine, isn't it? So if you find yourself drawn to the media coverage of this, I try to avoid the media at all costs. I looked at a couple pictures from there. Boy. And as soon as I read 2 more headlines, I couldn't go any further because it was just so awful. And there's no reason to focus on all that, but I suppose when something of this magnitude happens, we should take the time to appreciate it didn't happen to us, at least. And I think in a lot of ways, maybe that's really all we can do about this. I think that's probably true for most of us right now. And I think I'm always the type of guy who likes to make lemonade out of lemons. That's just my personality. I've always been that way, and a lot of people aren't like that, so I understand that. But you know, why not? Just look at it. If you have a roof over your head, if you live in a city that's not destroyed right now and has running water and sewage, and you know, you get to go to the bathroom in a toilet, isn't that a luxury? You know, God. Clean water, relatively clean water. We got fluoride in ours, but you know, better than what they got, that's for freaking sure. Even that I'm grateful for. Our family, the people we care about. Because I think what's hard for all of us to connect, because it is such an enormous tragedy, and we see it on TV, so we see it artificially. Without the TV and the internet, we would have never known this happened if we lived, you know, more than 200 miles away probably. So it's sort of not for everybody to see, but everybody sees it, so we got to deal with it. It didn't happen to you, so be grateful for that, I guess. Maybe that's a different take, you know. And we're real bad about when stuff like this happens, being grateful for a very short period of time and then forgetting about it. Let's try to keep that in mind, you know, for at least a couple months here instead of a week. There's a tremendous drive for everybody to give money to this cause. And I've asked for donations, so I'm on a slippery slope here, and I actually decided not to accept any. But be careful. From what I can see of Haiti, it would appear as though, and this is true of most countries, if not all, none of that money gets to the people who needs it, unfortunately. I think everybody working on the lower levels of a lot of these big organizations like the Red Cross and those ones, they mean well, but boy, if you look hard at the upper levels of those organizations, it gets shady fast.